So tonight the mouse was running all around the living room. Came not that far away from me, the distance from this camera to me right now, but I was lying on the couch. I injured my foot, as I told you guys in the other video. So I asked my mom if she would please allow me and Omar to temporarily stay in her room, and she sleeps on the couch like she was doing every weekend before she moved back in, you know, and she was visiting every weekend. She was sleeping on the couch. I asked her to do that because it's much better for me. There's so much room on this bed. I can pile clothes up or elevate my legs, sleep on my back, all these things I can't do on the couch where I'm squished next to Omar. Okay. But the mouse was running all around the living room and dining room, whatever. And I said, yeah, Mom, because our counters are spotless and it's looking for food elsewhere. And she's like, give it some food then. I'm like, you want to pay ransom to the mouse? She's like, yeah, I do. Get it out of here, Laura. Get it to go back on the counter. Well, it's not ransom. It's like extortion. Like, what's that thing with mafia? Like, you have to pay. Not extortion either, where they had to pay so that they wouldn't be, businesses had to pay so they wouldn't be hurt, beaten up, or whatever, whatever that is. Well, I used the word ransom. I couldn't think of that word, but it worked. Just now, I had it in. I put some cereal out for the mouse. My mom wanted me to keep it out of the living room, from under the couch or whatever, because it was definitely us counters. If we're being cleaner and keeping our counters spotless and no crumbs and nothing, the mouse is going to search elsewhere. This is its home now, It's like. But I joked with my mom. I used the word ransom. It's the wrong word. And if you want to pay ransom to the mouse, she's like, yeah, I do. Get it back to the counter. I'm like, it might not work. One time it kept poking its head out a couple weeks ago, from the couch, and I left. This is when the novelty was still fresh with me, and I wanted to film it, and I was dying to film it, but now that I've filmed it enough, it's like, and I left cereal, and then I fell asleep, and I left cereal on the ground in one of my covers, like my cover, and it didn't even touch it, so wherever it went, it didn't even touch the cereal. I started again in the morning. But now it just got that cereal I got out of that bowl. I heard the bowl. I heard it make a noise, and I saw the mouse. Like I said, nobody we've talked to. Joe, Selena, Kurt, my online friend, it's like nobody thinks my mom should pay, for the wildlife removal service. It's not cheap, but that's because they operate under the premise that there's more than one mouse, and they trap for 2 weeks. They set traps and come, They clean and disinfect and all that, My mom doesn't care. She doesn't care what Joe or Selena say. She's going to do it. But she does agree with me that we're not going to get a new stove, if only because, the Wildlife Removal Service does not guarantee that rodents won't come back after they trap them and get rid of them. It doesn't mean they can't come back. It's the same as Terminex, the same as anything. It's not guaranteed they won't come back. They used to disinfect and whatnot where they were. In this case, the mouse was under the fridge and living in the stove. And she says matter-of-factly that, anyway, I think that's funny. Lure the mouse back, feed it so it won't be in the living room with me, Laura, while I'm sleeping. I can feed it and it might still come back to the living room. It goes where it pleases, And I pick up its little mouse turds off the counter, but I'm certainly not getting them anywhere on the floor, and we're walking in it, or I am in bare feet. I forget, or I get tired of having always, especially now that my foot's injured, Not fun. I spent all day today out these clothes, just methodically cleaning them, separating them. While I was doing it anyway, I figured I might as well do the thing I always do for my mom. At least when she lived here, I always did it. Always had winter clothes up the front and summer clothes at the back. Now we're going to move the lighter clothes to the front, you know, and the winter clothes to the back. But because I still have another contractor back here, I didn't want to hang up clothes in my closet yet. I do have containers in it. That's different than if you're trying to do something and your head hits your clothes, you know what I mean? I just didn't want my clothes in there until she's done. And I had to postpone having her come because when I wanted her here, she ordered the wrong thing, and the runners came wrong, and then I was cut up in the thing with the plumbing and the pipe, and got him to remove that extra half hour at least. I was positive I was right about that. Could I have been wrong? Yeah. So what? They don't keep track. And if I'm positive about something, and so is my mom, and I told her. And I remember distinctly. So if they don't even keep track and they just go by what the, you know, what the person who comes here says, he could make a mistake. You know what I mean? But something like that will never happen to us again, because if it's not someone like our plumber, which is a one person, not, you know, a regular local plumber, not a company or whatever, where you know you pay him right then, and you know exactly what he's charging you for how many and how long he was here. And I don't want a place that if we don't have to pay him directly immediately because it's through a company and they bill you. I am going to look at my clock the moment someone gets there, and I'm not going to go by memory. I'm going to write it down, and then write down when they leave, and then that will never happen again. Never happen this time. I don't need that shit. I remembered so clearly telling my mom, and I remember thinking, oh good, it isn't going to go past the 2 hours, you know, and then I get a bill for 2.5. Oh. So anyway, that's what's going on. I'm just being nice, at least for tonight. I'm going to ask her to sleep out there while my foot is injured. It'll be so nice to not, you know, just to be able to sleep in here. And she leaves early, gets up early. It'll just be nice. Just a nice change to sleep in the couch. Which isn't horrible, but it's just... road rage shit is getting ridiculous. Well, this tonight was like daytime star or something or other. Or no, it's a daytime star. No, they said that. Oh, I think they said a TV star. I think they said a TV star, but anyway. It turned out, I said, I hope it's not someone we know, Mom. It wasn't. It's a soap star. And apparently a guy cut him off. And you never know if someone's doing it intentionally or not, but just to give you the guy was in his 60s. Okay, we find that out, but the guy cut him off. And I guess both cars stopped. The guy got out of his car. And the other guy that he got cut off got out of his car. He had a family in there, and he got out and didn't realize he didn't have the brake, and then he's running, his car's rolling away, and he's running after it. So his friend got out of the passenger side, went up to the guy who wasn't even coming near them, he was walking away, punched him, he fell to the ground, unconscious, winds up dead. Right? Like I said to my mom, I don't, this guy's going to be in jail. Go from being he's a soap opera star, go from being a soap opera star to being in jail. You can't go around doing stuff like that. And the friend is like, oh, my family was in danger because the guy was coming. When this guy came out, the guy was walking back to his car. Okay. It's not going to fly, whatever they're saying in defense or whatnot. It wasn't the guy driving. His friend got out of the passenger seat and knocked the guy out cold, but he died. He was knocked unconscious, and they left the scene, and the guy's dead. Murder. It's murder, sorry. It's murder. People are just getting out of control with this friggin' road rage. Around here, I think in Massachusetts, some of these two women got out of their cars in the middle of the they're like arguing in the middle of like a major highway or whatever. They both got arrested for fighting. It was road rage. Two women. They're in Massachusetts. I believe. Grandma's got quite a bit of cereal fast. They don't have pouches. Hamsters have pouches. I don't know how it could hold all the cereal, but I heard it, and then the cereal was gone, so I don't know how it got it so fast. I left enough there that I thought I would have to make more than one trip, and I could. Unless it was just sitting there eating it, which I guess is possible. Might not come back for that other piece. I think that's so funny. I said, yeah, it's searching. If our kitchen is spotless, the mouse is going to search for food elsewhere in the house. And she's like, give it something then. I don't want it in here. Give it something. I'm like, you sure? You want to pay ransom to the mouse? She's like, yeah, I do. I'm like, okay. Ransom probably wasn't the right word. It's not, but it's similar. It's like, I won't. It's like bargaining. Don't come near me in the living room. I'll give you food out on the kitchen counter. Mouse. She doesn't mean I sleep I sleep out there every fucking night. I don't worry about the mouse, The mom's not me. And then she goes, I'm going to close my bedroom door. I'm like, Mom, we told you. I told you already. And the guy who came here, the wildlife removal service inspector, home inspector guy came. The mice can fit through the size of a dime. Alright? It can get under your door easily. It's probably been in every room in this house. We see it run down the hallway and it disappears somewhere. But not permanently. The kitchen is its home, you know. Yeah.